Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Film Series Recapped here. Today I'm going to tell you about an anime, Erased. The main character was called Satoru Fujinuma, a 29 years old mangaka, who is now working as a delivery man for a restaurant because his career was a disaster and no one wanted to read at his mangas. One day, while he was delivering food, Satoru suddenly felt something strange. The image in front of him seemed to have appeared a few minutes before. He turned around and tried to catch up with the truck, because he noticed that the driver was sleeping. Seeing the truck was about to run over this little child, Satoru went through the window and grabbed the driver's arm to change the direction of the truck. Although he saved the child, he was hit by a car in front of him. When he opened his eyes again, he was already in the hospital, fortunately nothing serious. On the way back, he remembered how strange it was. This phenomenon he called revival. It was a return to the same scene 1 to 5 minutes earlier, as if someone had forced him to prevent something bad from happening. He pushed the door and saw his mother. Satoru always called her a demon because she could always guess exactly what he was thinking, but Satoru and his mother got along more like friends. In the evening, while his mother was watching TV, Satoru suddenly told her about a child abduction case that happened when he was in elementary school. He remembered that his classmate had died and he was playing with a boy named Jun Shiratori, but he never thought that Jun Shiratori would be the one who would be identified by the police as the abductor. The next day, he went to the supermarket with his mother to buy something, and he had the feeling that something was wrong. Satoru's mother had seen a little girl accompanied by a man, but the man did not bring her daughter with him and she took the car's picture. In the evening, his mother told Satoru that there was an attempted kidnapping that afternoon. Satoru remembered that in elementary school, his classmate Keiō Hinazuki was kidnapped and that he had seen him in the park on the day of the kidnapping, and he still blamed himself for the fact that if he had asked Keiō to go home with him, the tragedy would not have happened. Satoru's mother was investigating the events of that year again since she saw the man in the parking lot, and she had a feeling that the culprit might not really be Jun Shiratori. In the evening, she was returning to Satoru's house and putting her things down. Suddenly she heard footsteps behind her and was about to turn around when she was stabbed in the back and saw the face of the killer. She wanted to call Satoru, to tell him that she was wrong about him at that time, that the killer was not really Jun Shiratori, that she should have believed Satoru, but her phone was taken by the killer. Satoru came home from work and saw his mother murdered. Incredulous, when his neighbor came to deliver something to Satoru, she saw Satoru sitting next to his mother with blood on his hands. Satoru was immediately identified as a suspect. He suddenly remembered the strange man he met when he returned upstairs, but the police had already arrived at his house. His first reaction is to run away. He wanted to find out who killed his mother in the serial kidnapping case of his childhood. He struggled to move forward. Suddenly his eyes turned black. When he opened them again, the scene around him suddenly changed. There was an elementary school student with a backpack, a friend from childhood. It turned out that he went back 18 years. He was going home and saw his mother. He finally realized that it was still a revival, this time 18 years back, and he noticed that the girl who was victim, Keiō Hinazuki, the girl with the bruises on her leg. He came home and found Keiō's notebooks in a drawer, full of sentences about wanting to escape her mother and her current life. He thought that the reason he went back 18 years was to prevent the kidnapping from happening, to prevent Keiō from being killed. Keiō still remained alone in the park, the same park where Keiō was victimized. He approached and invited Keiō to his house for his birthday party in a few days. Keiō seemed to have never received such an invitation before and accepted with slight hesitation. At school, Keiō knew Satoru's birthday but Satoru doesn't know his, so Satoru warned to go to the teacher's office to check Keiō's birthday, but to his surprise, he was caught by the teacher. When the teacher found out what was going on, he said that they both had the same day of the birthday. Time passed day after day, still 11 days before the kidnapping. On the way home, he met Jun who stuttered a little but still tried to talk. Satoru always felt that the murderer was someone else and Jun Shiratori. He had to save not only Keiō but Jun Shiratori. Instead of going straight home, Satoru went to look for Keiō, who didn't seem to be home either, but her gloves and bag were scattered all over the place. Satoru followed the scattered books to a warehouse and opened the door and found Keiō on the floor, filled with wounds. Satoru took off his clothes and tried to put them on Keiō. At that time, Keiō's mother came to take him away. Ko told Satoru that she had fallen on the floor himself and not to worry about her anymore. Poor Ko went home. Her mother put ice water on her face to reduce the swelling. The next day, Ko was late to school again. The class teacher asked Satoru why Ko was late for school lately. Satoru replied that Ko's mother was hitting her every Saturday. The class teacher said that he had also noticed this, but he didn't say anything because he was afraid that Ko would be assaulted in the classroom, but the child counseling center never found any evidence of her mother, so there was no way to protect Ko. Satoru returned to class thinking that if he waited any longer, Ko would be killed, so he did his best to stop the tragedy that was about to happen and saved Ko. After school in the afternoon, Satoru took Ko to see the starry sky and the most beautiful Christmas tree in his eyes. Maybe Satoru wanted Ko to have something beautiful in his eyes and heart. That's all for this video. The link of the second part of this anime is in the description. If you like this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to me for more videos.